All right, James, and for the Toronto Maple Leafs, the question will be, how do you bounce back after a very difficult night on Saturday in Buffalo, and they'll face a very tough Nashville team that really has bounced back from a couple of years out of the playoffs. And Ray Ferraro, a guy you loved at the World Junior Championship. He was the captain twice of the Swedish national junior team. Philip Forsberg's been terrific for Nashville.
What a home run that David Poile hit in his trade last year for Philip Forsberg. They traded Marty Erat to the Capitals, and Forsberg, who played a little bit in the American League last year, has just come out of the gate blazing this year. Paired with James Neal and Mike Ribeiro, plus 20 on the season. He is out to an outstanding start, and their line is going to have to be accounted for by the Maple Leafs tonight.
Nashville has won 2 of the 3 meetings between these clubs, who don't have a lot of history. In fact, at one point they played only twice in 7 years. And there's a shot fired wide by Calle Jarnkrok. Colin Wilson's pass is picked off by Nazem Kadri, who starts at center for Toronto. And Morgan Riley plays it in deep for the Maple Leafs. Anton Volchenkov, bumped by Kadri, kicks it back in front. And a hand pass called against Toronto. Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Tim Hortons, official coffee of the NHL.
Randy Carlyle's Maple Leafs are going to obviously want to have a much better start, and one of the ways they do is by getting a blanket on Mike Ribeiro's line. They have scored 50% of the Predators' goals this year, and for the Nashville Predators and Peter Laviolette, it's a much more aggressive system. One thing they want to do is chip pucks behind that Leaf defense, make them go back into their zone and make good decisions with the puck. You can pressure that defense into turnovers.
So Nashville comes back with the Ribeiro line, and Randy Carlyle responds with his top line of Tyler Bozak, Phil Kessel, and James Van Riemsdyk. Ribeiro is tied for second in Nashville scoring. As you mentioned in the pregame show, a resurrection year for him after Arizona bought him out, and GM Don Maloney took the unusual step to explain it was completely character related.
Yeah, just a terrible stint in the desert for Ribeiro. Dave Tippett was pretty confident because he had Ribeiro in Dallas that it would work out. It didn't on a major scale. So he comes to Nashville and he's on a 1-year deal. It's amazing how desperate you can be in your 30s when you got a 1-year deal. He's played very well for the Predators so far.
And the 3 members of this forward line, Ribeiro, Forsberg, and Neal, were not with Nashville at the start of last season. Only Forsberg was there at all last year. In comes Roman Josi across the line, drops it off for Forsberg, plays it back across. Oh, what a stop by Jonathan Bernier. He takes that away from James Neal. And Neal, who always plays well in Toronto, 5 goals in 9 games against his hometown team. He's from nearby Whitby, Ontario. Turned away by Bernier in the early stages there. Now Derek Roy across the line, feeds in front. Matt Cullen with a shot. That goes high and wide. 2 good chances for Nashville in the first 90 seconds of the first period.
Man, oh man, wake up. If you're the Maple Leafs, they got to be better than that. That's 2 man advantage breaks this early.
Now Peter Holland in, shoots, and Pekka Rinne gloves that with Leo Komarov digging for a rebound in front.
Gord, that's inexcusable for the Leafs coming off the game they played in Buffalo to be this asleep to start the game. Roman Josi leaves the puck to Forsberg. Look at the Maple Leafs in the middle of the ice. Bozak gets caught standing still. He doesn't cover anybody, and James Neal is robbed by Jonathan Bernier, and then Matt Cullen walks in unattended on the left side. When Neal came back to the bench, he looked up at the roof of the building and said, "Oh my God, I don't believe it." What a pass from Forsberg. What a great effort by Jonathan Bernier. James Neal does not miss that very often.
Now Taylor Beck works in, shoots, scores! Taylor Beck gives Nashville the lead less than 2 minutes into the opening period. And a third great scoring chance is cashed in by Beck.
Predators have had the puck 3 times, and they've had 3 great chances. This is off a face-off. The puck's just shot up the boards, and now Gardner loses his gap on Beck. Beck is able to get outside him. He can really shoot the puck. The former Guelph Storm forward gets it by Gardner. Gardner doesn't cut his angle off. He's waiting for Polak to come back, and Beck, who went to camp in a bit of a contract dispute, couldn't agree on a deal with Nashville, so he went unsigned, earned a 1-way deal, and he blows this by the stick side of Jonathan Bernier.
Weber and Gostad draw the assist at 152 on the second of the year for Beck, who's a native of St. Catharines, Ontario. He was a healthy scratch in 4 of the first 6 games for Nashville, but has become a fixture in the lineup since. And Kadri swings it rink wide for Clarkson. Gets poked there at the line by Anton Volchenkov. Seth Jones around for Calle Jarnkrok. And Craig Smith chips out ahead to Colin Wilson. In comes Wilson across the line. Drops it off for Jarnkrok. In, shoots. And Bernier gets an arm on that short side.
Gord, there's an indication of how aggressive Nashville wants to be with their defenseman. That was Anton Volchenkov jumping up in the play.
Now Seth Jones works in, shoots. It's off the stick of Morgan Rielly and wide. 16 years of Barry Trotz. Nashville always a competitive but very low-scoring team. They're not a lot higher scoring now, Ray, but they're a lot more aggressive. Van Riemsdyk shoots. That's gloved by Pekka Rinne. Maybe the biggest difference for Nashville is number 35 is back in net for the Predators.
Yeah, under 2 goals against average, as does Carter Hutton, his backup. Here's another look at the goal. Weber just chips this off the boards after the Gaustad win. When Jake Gardner's that close to Beck, there's no point retreating, because when Beck chips it past him, you can't play him. Bernier probably should be a half a stride out farther as Beck beats it by him, but that plays in the middle of the ice. Gardner can snuff that out at the red line if he takes 1 step forward to where the puck is. Beck chips it by him and you can't do anything about it. He gets to it first and it's in the net.
Roman Josi plays it across for Shea Weber. Look at the bulk of the minutes on defense for Nashville.
Both of them in the top 5 in ice time.
Now a centering pass, and that's just missed by Eric Nystrom. And Riemsdyk chips it ahead for Kessel, and Kessel turns it over as Gaustad plays it back ahead for Beck. 4th line on the ice for the Predators. And Nystrom battles for it, and a penalty coming now to the Maple Leafs to compound their problems.
That's going to be Cody Franson, the ex-Predator. It's going to go to the penalty box for interference, and what has been an absolutely mind-boggling start for the Leafs gets a little bit worse. Watch Franson in front of the net. He lays the cross-check there on Eric Nystrom. So the Predators, who have had this great start, Gord, without the benefit of a power play that's helped them out at all. Just 7 power play goals on the year, but 6 of them have been on the road.
Nashville 2 for its last 27 on the power play. Now Jones loses the puck at the line. Komarov brings it along with Winnick shorthanded. Nashville has allowed 2 shorthanded goals this year after being the only team in the league not to allow one last season. And Rinne out to play it. Winnick lost the puck. Forsberg slides it across to Jones.
Excellent work by Komarov and Winnick in the Nashville zone. They've burned off the first 30 seconds of the power play in the Predator zone.
Now Forsberg works his way in. Back for Jones. Neal works the point in the power play, and he has the puck now. Neal back to Jones. That pass for Jarnkrok. Too hard for him to handle. Beck lays it around, and Jones can't hold the line. Seth Jones was a 19-year-old rookie last year. Nashville did not make the playoffs. He went to the World Championship playing for Peter Laviolette and Team USA. He was named the top defenseman in that tournament. Now a centering pass. Colin Wilson can't get it to sit. Plays it back to Weber. And Peter Holland watching Weber with that cannon shot closely. Forsberg down to Ribeiro. And now Ribeiro slides it back. The pass disrupted by Trevor Smith. And Neal on it. Lost the handle. And the Maple Leafs moving ahead. Smith for Rielly. Morgan Rielly jumping in. Rielly with Holland. Sends it back. Short-handed Holland. Oh, stopped by Reedy. The puck trickled through and hit the post. And back comes Nashville the other way. Ribeiro with 25 seconds to go in the power play. Back to Weber. Winds and shoots. Bernier the save. And he'll hang on seconds after a great short-handed chance for Toronto.
Toronto takes advantage of a bad read at the offensive blue line, and Peter Holland's backhander goes through the feet of Rinne, and it dies on the goalpost. It hits the right pad, the left pad touches the goalpost and stays out. Nashville very lucky as they played that poorly but aggressive Leaf penalty killing again has done the job for them.
And off the face-off win by Winnick, Roman Polak wires that down the ice. Weber rings it around for Craig Smith. The teams are Almost back to even strength now as Franson set to step on. Ribeiro drops it back to the line, but that draws Weber out. And Peter Laviolette shaking his head on the Nashville bench.
Well, you've got a team staggered a little bit, and you have a power play, and the only thing that happens out of it is the Leafs are the ones that gain a little bit of momentum with an excellent penalty kill.
Now Josi up in for Craig Smith, who chips it ahead. And now brought in by Van Riemsdyk. James Van Riemsdyk shovels that to the front of the goal. Ryan Ellis plays it by Gardner and out. And a race for it now, Derek Roy and Jake Gardner. And Gardner slides that by Olli Jokinen and back out. Fired down to the Nashville zone where Matthias Ekholm from 14 is back to pick it up. Former Swedish League Defenseman of the Year. Derek Roy looks ahead for Matt Cullen. That pass broken up.
Laviolette got a good look at Matthias Ekholm last year at the World Championships too. Voted one of the top 3 Swedish players in that tournament. So coaching in the Worlds last year really gave Laviolette a little bit of a heads up on what his team might look like.
Winnick chips it down, played away by Rinne. And chipped up by Beck. Up for Ekholm, who finds Gaustad. And Paul Gaustad wires that down to the Toronto zone. Around it goes to Beck. Fires from a sharp angle. Just missed the stick of Nystrom. Now Volchenkov with a shot. And that goes just wide. Beck down to Nystrom. Volchenkov and Clarkson collide. And now Winnick plays it across for Kadri. Nazem Kadri for the trailer. Roman Polak broken up by Seth Jones. And back comes Nashville. Jones for Beck. Here he comes again. Beck falls. Lost the puck and is played ahead by Riley. Very, very different looking Nashville team under Peter Laviolette. And Ray, one of his trademarks too, off to a good start with his new team.
They always seem to get out. They embrace the new style of play.
Santorelli shoots. That's off the stick of Ekholm. Up and out of play. 23-year-old Taylor Beck from St. Catharines, Ontario has the only goal so far. 1-0 Nashville leads.
There is Philip Forsberg, who was off to this fantastic start with the Predators in his rookie season. Almost double the points of Burakovsky and Goodrow, who both are off to fine starts in their own rookie campaigns. Forsberg has fit in perfectly here, just 20 years old. Acquired last year, as we mentioned, from the Washington Capitals, and they've got some good players through their system over the years in Nashville, lots of them on the blue line. This time they acquire a youngster up front that really has given them a shot in the arm offensively.
The one thing they've been missing, Ray, in Nashville has been dynamic scoring. They hope to get that when they acquired James Neal from Pittsburgh for Patrick Hornquist. And the acquisition of Forsberg as well. They did draft a pretty good scorer in Alexander Radulov, and he walked on them.
17 goals between Neal and Forsberg this season, and so they're looking for instant offense. They've got it, but it doesn't matter how good you are, you're still a rookie. Hey, Rook, pick up the pucks. There's Forsberg at the end of practice with the other rookies. There's Kelly Yarncrook as well, as they collect the pucks so the other guys can get to the showers first.
And Shea Weber wraps it around for Cody Franson, knocking it down. Weber and Franson, former defense partners with Nashville. Franson was a third-round pick of the Predators. Credits Peter Horacek, a longtime assistant with Nashville, now with Toronto, for helping him in his early days. As Santorelli comes in, shoots, and Rinne makes the stop with Peter Holland looking for the rebound.
Santorelli, Holland, and Komarov have done a real good job, as people have talked about for a couple of weeks now. And there are some chances given up here by Nashville in the first half of this first period as well. That's the second man advantage break that Toronto's been able to garner. The first was shorthanded, and Santorelli's shot stopped by Rinne, and one of the things he does very well is he doesn't give out a lot of sloppy rebounds. He swallows that one up.
So last year, Pekka Rinne missed 51 games after hip surgery with an infection that basically wiped out his season. He's 5th in the league in save percentage, was the MVP at the World Championship last spring. Now Ekholm lost the puck. It bounces back out in front. And Rene reaches for that and is able to hang on. Rene, 32 years old, was an 8th round pick of Nashville back in 2004. Time for the league lead and wins. And the classic story about him is that Nashville drafted him after watching him in Oulu, Finland in the warm-up where he backed up Nicholas Backstrom. So the only way you could see him was when he warmed up because Backstrom played all the games in Oulu. Nashville's Finnish scout urged the guys to come and see him and then told them to kick the punchline. He's not going to play in the game. Puck loose in the corner for Kadri, who picks it out. Banks it back for Riley. Morgan Riley with a long shot off the end boards. It goes, bounces down. Weber's stick tied up by Clarkson. And Winnick tries to fish that up, gets it right back. Winnick loose to the side of the goal. Takes a bump there from Yossi, and Winnick's still on it. Gets the puck again, sends it back in front. Kadri missed it. And the long shot tipped by Kadri as Stefan Robida got that away from the point. But Daniel Winnick all over the puck, plays it right back in, and finally, Gostad moves it out. Robida swings back for Toronto. Maple Leafs have allowed a goal in the first 5 minutes of a period for the 17th time this season. Cullen got slammed there by Kadri, but away comes Nashville. Ole Jokinen for Ryan Ellis. Ellis spins and shoots. It's off the leg of Polak. Now Jokinen back to Ellis. Cross to Ekholm, who shoots. That goes off the foot of Polak and wide. Derek Roy jumping on it. Banks it back to Ellis. His pass chopped down by Polak, but Roy had it for a moment. Now Van Riemsdyk taps it ahead. And in comes Polak with him. Drops it back to Van Riemsdyk with a long shot. Hit Polak in the back of the leg. And the lead pass for Ole Jokinen misses. That'll be an icing call against Nashville.
Halfway through the period, and the game is leveled off a little bit for the Leafs. It still doesn't explain why they came out of the gate as slowly and as sloppily as they did. But nonetheless, they're one down here halfway through, and now they have to find a way to just build shift by shift, get a little bit of momentum to the game, as there appears like there's going to be enough chances there against the Predators the way the first half of the period is gone.
And Bozak on the loose puck for Toronto, trying to find Van Riemsdyk in the corner. Bozak comes in to help Kessel battling for it, and Derek Roy comes away for Nashville. Predators will start to change as Roy feathers that pass ahead for Cullen. Cullen back in front to Roy, scores! Derek Roy with his first goal in 38 games, and the Predators lead 2-0.
Roy gets inside of Dion Phaneuf, and he's stronger on the puck than Phaneuf is here. Both Phaneuf and Franson are staring up at the clock to see what happened here. They've got the back pressure in through the middle of the ice. It's a 2-on-2. That's just outwork to the front of the net. Derek Roy, who's behind Phaneuf, he gets to the inside. Phaneuf doesn't get puck or stick, and when he reaches out with one hand, Roy just is stronger underneath his stick, and he slams it past Jonathan Bernier for his first goal as a Nashville Predator, his first of the season. And we talked about the Ribeiro line providing 50% of the offense for the Predators so far. Well, it's been their bottom three lines that have created both of the goals, and the Predators lead by 2.
Roy last scored in early February of last season against Winnipeg, playing for his 5th team in the last 4 years. Nashville took a chance on a bunch of guys, Ribeiro and Roy among them. Signed a short deal, see how it works out.
Right after Mike Fisher tore his Achilles tendon, they had to get some depth in the middle, and Jokinen and Roy were part of the solution to it. Fisher back taking contact drills now and shouldn't be too much farther away.
So 2 goals in the first 5 shots for Nashville. And that Boston game last Wednesday seems like a distant memory for Toronto. Pollock sends it back in front. Knocked away by Volchenkov. And Trevor Smith settles things down for the Maple Leafs to Gardner. Jake Gardner winds his way in, fires that wide to the goal. Komarov on it. Around for Holland. And Holland fights off Seth Jones. Plays it back to the point to Polak. Sends it back in front. Santorelli shoots. And Pekka The 6'5" Rene pounces on the loose puck and hangs on for a face-off. Derek Roy, the former Kitchener Ranger, makes it 2-0 Nashville here in the first period.
And Rene's able to make his 6th stop of the period, as his Predator team has given him a 2 spot already to play with.
Remember when they had Anders Lindback? In 13 feet of goaltending in Nashville.
Now there was only one difference. Yeah. One guy stopped the puck and the other didn't.
8:25 to go here in the first period. Time for an update with James Duffy. Who is Bo Bennett's favorite player, Ray?
He's a smart kid, isn't he?
Grew up in L.A., loved Ray Ferraro.
That is a smart young man right there. When my brother-in-law, Tony Granato, was coaching the Penguins as an assistant coach, he said, don't worry, we'll coach that out of him.
Santorelli loose in the corner, plays it around for Holland. And Holland, with a bouncing puck at the line, settles things down. Holland drops it back to Franson with a shot, goes off the stick of Philip Forsberg, that broke his stick. And the Predators play it back down to the Leaf zone. Two ways to have an effective shot. Shea Weber's got that big wind-up and a huge shot. And Franson's got that low snapshot that's hard and accurate. Now Holland has it skip away. Bostad steps in. And Holland still battling, forces the puck free to Komarov. Put up with a long shot. That's blocked by Bostad, ahead to back. In behind the Leaf, defense is back. Works in a backhand shot, and that is gloved by Jonathan Bernier.
Oh, Beck's had a nice start, hasn't he? The goal off the right wing, the backhand off the left ring. Really not a great read. As soon as the puck's blocked, nobody is in position to deny the safety valve as he goes between Phaneuf and Beck. Bernier with a rather easy glove stop, but the puck's blocked in the middle of the ice, and Riley's out so wide he can't get back into the middle. Phaneuf gets back to cut the lane towards the front of the Leafs net.
Toronto has lost back-to-back games for the first time since the first 2 games of the season, as Volchenkov's shot goes up and over the glass. You're going to lose games, Ray. Everyone does, and everyone goes through flat spots, but the question for teams is, how do you bounce back from bad losses?
I think the biggest thing you do is you make the game as simple as possible, and you work. And when you work, you don't work individually, you work in the context of your system. And what was disturbing to me off the first couple of minutes of the game was that they gave up 3-man advantage breaks the first 3 times the Predators touched the puck.
Now a loose puck to Kadri that bounced away from him as Volchenkov had his stick tied up. And here's Jones back with it. Morgan Riley steps up on that. Now brought out by Smith. For Nashville, Craig Smith across to Wilson. Back and forth. Smith taps that wide. Back and forth. Smith missed it. Back it goes to Jones. The ball chased off with a pick shot. Tipped in front. That goes just wide, and Smith got a piece of that. Craig Smith led Nashville in scoring last year, as he scored 24 times.
He's got 6 already this year. He got the game winner against Winnipeg on Saturday night.
In comes Riley with it now. Feeds it back in front. And now a penalty coming to the Predators as Smith touches up, and the Toronto Maple Leafs will get their first power play of the game as Craig Smith goes off.
Lots of traffic at the Leaf blue line. Leaf offensive blue line, rather, as Morgan Riley takes the loose puck, and Craig Smith's going to get called for the slash there. Looked a lot worse than it was, I guess, to Paul Dvorsky, who called the penalty down from the goal line. And the Leaf power play that really struggled against Pittsburgh. Got one in Buffalo, but really that was just a write-off. They're going to need to get themselves back in the game here with at least a couple of chances. A little momentum after a... Well, that's not one way to do it.
And Gardner can't hold the puck. In comes Paul Gaustad with it. And Gaustad drops it back. Weber went to wide and shoot, but Bozak got a stick on him, and Weber plays it back in deep. Shot through 7-6 Nashville in a 2-0 Predator lead. Kessel up ahead to Bozak. That poke check there by Josi. And Jarnkrok plays it out. Gardner. In across the line. Drops it off to Van Riemsdyk. Ellis breaks another chance for Nashville. Short-handed. Jarnkrok with Jokinen. Calle Jarnkrok in shoots. And Franson got a stick on that to knock it up and out of play. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN is brought to you by the 2015 Toyota RAV4. Let's play.
Some frustration understandably creeping in here on the Leaf bench as the forwards are barking at the D and vice versa. That's a byproduct that happens when one side or the other feels they're not getting the puck quick enough, and in that case both turnovers at the Leafs offensive blue line came as the defensemen were slow moving the puck.
Flips it ahead. Under a minute to go in this Toronto power play, and Roy fires it down the ice. Toronto's got Tampa here on Thursday.
Do you think Nashville plays fast?
I talked to a coach this week who thinks that Tampa's the best team in the Eastern Conference right now.
What a performance last night, winning in New York 5-1.
Under 30 seconds to go on this power play that hasn't amounted to much yet for Toronto as Riley brings it ahead. Up for Phaneuf. Shea Weber, his old D partner from the World Junior 10 years ago. And a misfire there as Nystrom feeds it down. Final second of the Toronto power play. Kessel in, shoots, that's blocked, and fired down the ice by Ellis. 4.5 to go in the opening period. No shots for Toronto on that power play. Now Polak taken down. And play is called in the Toronto zone, and they're going to say closing the hand of the puck will be the penalty as Nashville goes back to the power play. On Thursday, the Maple Leafs will be home to the Tampa Bay Lightning. 7 o'clock Eastern, our coverage begins of Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN.
Here's a look at the penalty Roman Polak called for closing his hand on the puck there. He has it over top of it for a second or two. That's enough for the penalty to be called. You can see what Randy Carlyle feels about the penalty. He's arguing with the linesman. I've always wondered about this. He's arguing with the linesman who just stares at him. The linesman didn't call the penalty, and he's probably not delivering the message. It's like when you complain to the assistant coach, you think he's bringing the message to the head coach, but he doesn't.
No. Here comes Josi in shoots, and Bernier eats that up. And now Phaneuf is jawing there with Wilson.
That's good for Phaneuf. They got to show a little zip here in the game. They've squandered what you thought would have been energy for a good start. They've been poor defensively. They had a couple of chances, most notably the shorthanded chance by Peter Holland, but they've just played passively. They backed off the puck on the first goal. They gave up a 3-on-2 the shift prior. So a little backbone from Phaneuf to lead their team a little bit here is not going to hurt them.
Holland wins that face-off, and Robota fires the puck down the ice. Toronto has killed off 20 of the last 22 opposition power plays. Josi to Wilson. Colin Wilson works it down low. Feeds it across to Ribeiro. To Weber. Shea Weber to Mike Ribeiro. Feeds it back in front. Smith with a shot. Wilson looking for the tip. Feeds it back. Smith spins. Plays it across. Ribeiro hit the goal post. Hit the outside of the pipe. Had a wide open net. Ribeiro back down to Josi. In for Ribeiro. With Wilson standing in front, he feeds across to Weber. Back to Josi with a drive. That's tipped just wide. Weber back on it. Back to Ribeiro for Josi. Ribeiro sets it up once more. Feeds that pass through the middle. And Robota got a stick on that to knock it up and out of play.
Ribeiro's pass is deflected up over the glass, and one of the reasons that Shea Weber is so dangerous is everybody is trying to deny him the puck. So Ribeiro looks, he wants to go to Weber, but nobody gets to Craig Smith. That leads to this first shot, and the puck is going to be worked around to Ribeiro. He's got the wide open side, and he rings it off the goalpost as there's no way Bernier can do much else but make a desperation dive. It hits the outside of the post and goes wide.
Jarnkrok wins the face-off back to Jones. Here's Philip Forsberg. In, shoots, gets it, but they score! Beck's got his second. And it's 3-0 Nashville.
Gord, last week, or I guess 10 days ago, Philip Forsberg scored on the power play coming off the half wall. He shoots the puck a lot like Joe Sakic might, where his hands are way in front of his body. Watch when he comes off the wall. Forsberg's going to have room to shoot the puck. Beck sets up camp in front of Bernier. Hands in front. It's a quick little flick of the wrist that actually lands right at the feet of Beck. As it hits him, and before Bernier can find the puck, Taylor Beck has scored a power play goal. He's got a couple on the night. What a first period for Nashville. 3 goals on 10 shots.
Beck came in with 4 goals in 36 career games in his 3rd NHL season. 2 tonight. Forsberg and Jones draw the assist at 16:49. And here come the Predators again as Cullen knocks it in. Now Kadri has that pass go off the leg of Cullen, and Jones plays it back in. And the other part of the equation is Toronto has just 6 shots on goal. Jones winds ahead as Nashville changes. Now he'll do the same as he chips it in deep.
Well, we talked about the Predators being more aggressive than they were in the past. We talked about them not giving up many chances, and here they are with Exhibit A.
In comes Kessel now. Shoots, Rena to save. Rebound. Chopped net by Van Riemsdyk. Feeds it back in front. Nystrom picks it on. And Eric Nystrom wraps it around. Kessel on back to Van Riemsdyk. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Riley to Robidas. Nystrom stepped into him. The puck way up in the air. Robidas down to Bozak and around for Kessel. Hard pass back to Riley who holds the line. Bozak leaves it there for Van Riemsdyk. Spins and shoots, and Green Bay shut that down. Now it goes to Kessel again, but Weber stepped in front of him. And Gostad banks it off the boards. Beck gets there first, looking for a first period hat trick. Beck plays it back in front. Nice to a chance. 2 good saves by Bernier. This is 3-0 Nashville, Ray, and it could be 5.
What a period for Taylor Beck. And what a, I just don't have another term other than mind-boggling period from the Maple Leafs. Weren't they 6-1-1 a little while ago? This is hard to believe it's the same team.
Ekholm swings back. Plays that to Wilson. And Andy Frost's announcement of the last minute of play draws a throaty cheer here in Toronto. Franson has that pass picked up. Here comes Ekholm. Winds and shoots. That's just wide. Ribeiro with a chance off the side of the goal. And Holland on it. Has that knocked down by Ellis. Back up to center ice. Put up, fires it back in. Ribeiro chips it out as Polak is back to pick it up for Toronto. And now Santorelli and Forsberg collide at center ice, but play is called.
Whoa, Peter Laviolette came bounding over the bench here. Looks like a too many men on the ice penalty. Here's the latest Nashville chance. A puck rung around the boards. Robida doesn't get to it. And then Taylor Beck with the pass to Eric Nystrom. 2 whacks at her. Morgan Riley gets caught trying to fish for the puck here. He doesn't get it, and then he doesn't get back to tie up Nystrom's stick.
And it is, I believe, a too many men on the ice penalty against Nashville. And Laviolette's still hot as he talks to referee Mark Lemelin. So there you have it.
Yep.
The player coming on played the puck before the player had come off. Now Laviolette's arguing they were replacing someone else, but that seldom works. So with 18 seconds to go in the period, Toronto gets a power play. Back at the line, here's Gardner. Sets it up for Kessel. Quick shot, that goes wide. Now Franson leading on it. Bozak. Pass it down to Van Riemsdyk to Kessel on the goal line. Feeds it back, final seconds. Here's Gardner. Back to Franson, his stick blew up.
That might be a perfect finish to this period for the Leafs.
Outshot 13-8, outscored 3-0. The Maple Leafs will have a minute and 42 seconds of power play time to carry over into the second period. Here's James Duthie and our first intermission. The third goal for Nashville. Ray Ferraro back between the benches, and Ray, we've got a developing story on the ice as the Maple Leafs make a goaltending change.
You got to try something, and with a 3-0 deficit after 20 minutes, Randy Carlyle goes to James Reimer. Reimer, who gave up 6 goals in Buffalo on Saturday night on 35 shots, enters the game here to period 2. The hope is that your team looks around and says, we left our goaltender out to dry, and we're going to do a little better for this one. Just a poor period on so many levels for the Leafs. And the key for them, as Carlyle pointed out, Gord, on Saturday they became very individualistic as they tried to chase back into the game. They can't do that now. They got a power play to start. See if they can generate something here.
Reimer allowed 6 goals on 35 shots, and that lost to Buffalo on Saturday. And the Maple Leafs open this period with a minute and 40 of power play time as Van Riemsdyk digs in the corner. Josi takes a whack at that. And it comes free to Weber. And moved up the ice by Gaustad. Paul Gaustad, a face-off specialist, 8th straight year. He's above 55% on draws. Going back to his days in Buffalo. Kessel winds his way in. Sets things up on the power play. Across he goes to Franson. Franson with a quick shot, tipped just wide of the goal. Bozak got a stick on that. And now it's fired down the ice by Yarncroke.
Franson shoots the puck so quickly. If you can get someone to the front of the net, as Tyler Bozak did there, it becomes a really dangerous chance, just deflected wide.
Gardner back to Kessel. And Kessel picks his way across the line to Clarkson. Now Ekholm on it for Nashville. Ellis with a rolling puck flips it back down.
So many times the early power play just isn't sharp. They don't match the work ethic of the penalty killers, and 3 times the Leafs have been down the ice to regroup in their own zone.
Holland gets a chance on the Toronto power play, flips it ahead for Clarkson. And Ekholm steps in front of that. Jumping up on the other side is Riley. Into the corner for Clarkson. Holland brings it around, Phaneuf reaching for it, and is able to hold the line. No, he is not. They call it offside at the Nashville line.
The first power play doesn't get it done. They get the one chance Franson shot deflected by Bozak wide. The second power play group's really had a difficult time. Nazem Kadri's in the middle of it. He's been on that second unit most of the year. Doesn't have a power play point this year. Things just not very smooth for Kadri here in the first quarter of the season.
And Holland out now for Toronto, wins the draw back to Phaneuf. And Riley rings that around. Here's Holland back on it, kicks it down to Santorelli. Former Predator, Santorelli back to Riley with a shot blocked in front. Roy plays it away. And now Phaneuf shoots right on, and that handcuffs Rinne. And he hangs on. Now, Ray, you would assume that Nazem Kadri is the number 2 center for Toronto, but look at the last 7 games for the Maple Leafs and the way the ice time's been doled out between Holland and Nazem Kadri. Holland in 6 of the 7 games has logged more minutes than has Kadri, and in fact, at this point in the season, they have the same number of points.
Kadri was drafted 7 picks and 8 picks rather in front of Holland in the 2009 draft, and Holland's been on a really good run here and has earned more minutes from Randy Carlyle. Some of that at the expense of Kadri. I thought Kadri, even though he didn't get any points, was terrific on Friday night. He skated, he was engaged on the play physically, and really he's at his best when he's on the body a little bit. He creates a little more space so he can work some room with his excellent hands, but Holland has outplayed him recently, and that line seems to fit for Holland much better than the one that Kadri's been in the middle of. And Joffrey Lupul skating more but not ready to play. He was on the ice today for the Leafs for quite some time before the Leafs practice.
Also hopeful to Toronto that Brandon Kozun is maybe a week away from returning to full contact in practice. As Santorelli spins back on the side of the goal, jam play knocked away by Rinne. Holland back on it, shoots off the foot of Shea Weber. And the puck loose in the corner for Santorelli. Out the other side it goes to Polak, who jumps up for Toronto. Plays it down to Holland. Holland bumped off the puck by Weber, who backhands that softly down, and Reimer watches it go wide. End of a long shift for Nashville. That'll be an icing call against the Predators. Closed captioning is brought to you by Intact Insurance, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Bozak wins the faceoff cleanly back to Franson. And the puck held on the line by Phaneuf down to Van Riemsdyk for Bozak. Loose in behind the goal is Tyler Bozak. Banks it back to Phaneuf. Across to Franson. Off the inboards he goes looking for the carom. Bozak couldn't reach it. Ribeiro with a nifty play from behind the goal. Finds Forsberg. And Forsberg up for Neal. James Van Riemsdyk for Dion Phaneuf. Up to center ice where Weber knocks it down and lobs that down to the Toronto goal. Van Riemsdyk up ahead for Bozak. Took a whack there from Ellis. And Ekholm trails back. The wall sealed by Kessel and by Bozak. Smith though picks it out by Van Riemsdyk. And Van Riemsdyk holds the line but can't clip it back down. Here's Smith with it. Craig Smith to Colin Wilson. Back in front for Jarnkrok, a bouncing puck. Now back in front, here's a chance for Wilson, blocked by Polak. Bozak up for Kessel. In comes Phil Kessel, drops for the trailer. Bozak in, shoots, and Rinne makes the stop on him.
Really good look from Phil Kessel as it was a 2-on-4 basically as Nashville was back in numbers and Kessel has his head up. He looks back across the play to find Tyler Bozak. Bozak starts this play with a really nice pass. Van Riemsdyk's going to go in the middle. You see the four Predators crowding the one side of the ice, and that leaves Bozak before Colin Wilson can get back there to receive this feed from Phil Kessel. Rinne across to make the stop, and again, as he's done all night, doesn't leave anything left after he makes the initial stop.
Toronto has the first 3 shots of this second period. And Komarov wins that faceoff back. Holland had it skip away from him. Santorelli plays it back in deep. Santorelli was a 6th round pick of Nashville back in 2004. Santorelli spins off Seth Jones and drops it off for Holland. Back in front for Komarov. Cross check down by Volchenkov. Gardner for Polak. His shot partly blocked by Cullen. And the Predators are away as Seth Jones finds Cullen, who swats it down to the Toronto zone. Santorelli for Holland with a full head of steam across the line. Flips it up for Santorelli. Back down to Holland. Panik comes in as Gostad leans on him. Ekholm being shadowed there by Holland. And Holland's pass goes off the leg of the official, Mark Lemelin. Now Gostad up for Nystrom. He finds Beck. Taylor Beck with a pair of goals in this game already. Plays it in deep. And Josh Leivo, number 32, picks it up for Toronto. We've not seen a lot of Toronto's 4th line in this game as they trail in the early stages. Now Panik works his way in. Drops it back to Robidas. He finds Riley. Long shot through traffic. Rinne makes the stop and gets bowled over in the Nashville crease, and a pileup ensues as Ekholm jumps all over the Toronto forward. That was Panik who was digging in there.
Ponnock's knocked a little bit off stride as he's going to the net from the boards after he plays it back to the blue line. You'll see the point shot coming. Ponnock coming from the edge. A little bit of a bump. Rinne's out fighting for his position, and the two of them run together. Ekholm steers him back towards the goaltender.
Ponnock's going to get a penalty here.
That's a tough one for Ponnock. I don't know that he's really got anything anywhere else to go, rather, as Ekholm has steered him back towards Pekka Rinne. That is always a real difficult call in real time for the official. Looking at it a second time, I think he gets steered in, and really there's nowhere else for him to go. But nonetheless, Nashville will get the power play here.
Nashville with a power play goal in the first period. It's third in its last 29 attempts. And Smith, the man who scored it, plays it around for Josi. Back down to Ribeiro. Back to Josi. To Ribeiro. Sets things up. Unlikely to shoot. Ribeiro plays it back to Josi. Back to Ribeiro. In he comes. Wide. He does shoot. Reimer makes the stop. Smith on the rebound. Turned away by Reimer. Now Wilson back with it. Back in front. He goes for Ribeiro. He banned on that. Weber taps it down to Wilson. Weber holds the line. Plays it across to Josi. Back to Ribeiro. His pass right back to Weber to Josi with a drive. Reimer pad save. Smith putters the rebound wide. And Josi jumps back on it. Now Ribeiro back to Josi again. To Weber. Wides and fires. He hammered that. Reimer never saw it.
Sounds like a bowling ball coming off his stick.
Now Josi tees it up and Reimer makes the glove save on the point shot by Josi.
It's really good hard work by the Predators. As 3 times the puck was up for grabs, they get to it first, and it leads to point shots from Shea Weber and Roman Josi. There's the Weber one that just pounds off the end boards, and again it's Nashville in position to get the puck. Josi shot through the traffic. Reimer's in good position to make the glove stop. As you talk about players looking for a rebound after a tough Saturday night in Buffalo, Reimer one of them, and he makes a good stop there.
Jarnkrok wins the face-off back. And James Neal now working the power play. Plays it across to Jones to Forsberg. Back to Jones to Philip Forsberg. 7 goals in his last 7 games. Plays it back to Neal. And Neal's pass picked up by Holland. He'll fire it down the ice. And Rinne out to play it. Knocks it away from Smith. Seth Jones walks in and shoot it. Hit the back of his teammate Beck, and the play is called at the Toronto line.
Beck was waiting for the puck to be chipped into the right corner, the soft corner, and Jones decided to ring it around the boards, and he rifled it off the leg of Beck. You see Beck through the seam. He thinks that puck's going to be chipped into the zone, and it goes off his pad. Probably fortunately it didn't hit him in the back of the leg, and they're offside.
26 seconds to go in the Nashville power play. Komarov and Jarnkrok. Rugby scrum that face-off. And now Polak works it. His long shot, gloved by Rinne. And he'll hang on to that with Daniel Winnick, giving him a tap.
Of the players that can count this first quarter as in the plus column by a big way is Leo Komarov, who's done an excellent job with 11 points. His penalty killing's exemplary, and that's one way to take a face-off. He just runs right over top of Jarnkrok in the face-off circle outside the blue line.
10 assists this year for Leo Komarov. He had 9 points in 42 games 2 years ago for Toronto, so he's already outstripped that total after going to play in the KHL last season. Gaustad up for Beck, who wraps it around. Here's Nystrom on it. Back for Gaustad. Down to Beck. Keeps it back to 5-on-5. Beck loose behind the Toronto goal for Gaustad. Shoot! And that hits Polak in front, as Reimer got a piece of it. Now Ponnock chips it ahead, and Polak just fires that down the ice as Josi goes back. That's an icing call against Toronto with 12:22 to go in the second period. And now Phaneuf and Gaustad have the gloves off at center ice. Now Gaustad might get a Rob Ray penalty there as his elbow pad comes off. There's some serious shots landed by both guys.
Before the rules changed, Rob Ray, who was as tough as they come, would literally come out of his gear to try and gain an advantage, and he could go for a long time. When he fought, you went and sold popcorn. They were entertaining long bouts. His old teammate Gaustad gets into a long one here with Dion Phaneuf, and the guys just come together after the icing call.
And maybe Phaneuf trying to spark his team here in the second period. So offsetting Fighting Majors. 12:22 to go in the second. 16-13 the shots for Nashville. The Preds leading 3-0. And Olli Jokinen takes the draw against Winnick. And now he won't as he gets tossed out, and Cullen will take the draw.
Three natural centers on this line, all veterans for Nashville. Cullen, Roy, Jokinen.
Jokinen, another guy that Nashville took a chance on in the offseason. As Winnick works his way in. Winnick shoots, Rinne makes the stop, and he'll eat up the rebound. 12:10 to go in the second period. 3-0 Nashville leads. Molson Canadian Leafs Hockey on TSN returns after this.
4 years together with the Guelph Storm of the Ontario Hockey League. Taylor Beck and Peter Holland, both draftees in 2009. Beck, you see, with 110 goals. Holland with 103. Beck having a fantastic night tonight with a couple of goals in the first period, and Holland with a shorthanded chance that went through Pekka Rinne and nestled against the left goalpost.
Jokinen takes the face off against Bozak in the Nashville zone. And the draw one back, a quick shot by Van Riemsdyk. Rinne saw it in the last second, knocked it up and out.
And right off the top of the coconut, you see him put the strap back on at the top of his mask. A face-off win for Tyler Bozak. He wins it with his feet, and Santorelli rings it off the top of the mask here. So Santorelli, Bozak, Winnick on the ice now. As Randy Carlyle, after the penalty kill, goes a little bit to the blender.
Bozak wins the draw back to Santorelli, across for Polak. And Polak shot right in the midsection of Rinne. And the puck drops down to Jarnkrok. Varitek goes off the skate of Santorelli. Now Josi will try his luck. And Smith has it for Nashville. Picked off by Santorelli. Loose in the corner now. Banks it back around for Winnick. And Santorelli digs it out for Toronto. Plays it back to the point to Polak. Cross he goes to Riley. Lots of traffic in front. Riley's pass goes off the glass, takes a bad bounce, and skips away from Santorelli. Weber up for Smith, who chips that down. And as Polak goes back, it'll be an icing call against Nashville. Your HBO subscription just got better with every season and every episode of your favorite HBO series now available on demand. Shows like Boardwalk Empire, True Blood, The Newsroom, True Detective, and Game of Thrones. Subscribe to HBO Canada now and never miss an episode.
Kadri in between Kessel and Van Riemsdyk now. Hoping to follow up an excellent shift.
And Kadri wins that faceoff back to Gardner, to Kessel. Long shot, Van Riemsdyk almost tapped that home at the side of the goal. Now Robitaille deep for Kadri. Nazem Kadri. Pass picked off by Smith. And Smith kind of kicks the puck across the line, and Nashville regroups. Wilson to Josi. Not sure who the most underrated player is in the NHL, Ray, but chances are he plays for Nashville.
Josi does just a tremendous job. He and Weber have become absolute minute munchers for them. Weber always has. Josi has moved into that as they're both among the lead leaguers in ice time. Of course, Ryan Suter will always be up there.
Craig Smith might be in that category for most underrated as well. Forsberg tries to flip that across, broken up by Kadri. He collided with Robidas, and a quick chance for James Neal as the stop is made by Reimer.
Neal can get rid of the puck in a hurry. 9 goals, including a hat trick in his first year here in Nashville. Bit of confusion at the blue line. I'm not sure. That looked pretty close to being offside, but the puck comes to Neal, and he quickly delivers it on goal, but Reimer with the stop.
So interesting deal. Nashville sent Patrick Hornqvist and Nick Spaulding to Pittsburgh in exchange for Neal. Both Hornqvist and Neal have 9 goals this year.
Hornqvist got some pretty good centermen to play with there.
He does.
Pittsburgh.
He gives Pittsburgh a different look with that net front presence.
This can be a deal that will work for both teams as each team gets a little bit of what they need as Nashville gets some instant offense, quick strike offense from James Neal.
Volchenkov, big hit on Clarkson, then Jones was spilled in behind the play. A chance in front, hammered wide by Franson. Check that, Philip Forsberg was knocked down.
While it was Franson alone, he was the only player on either team on that side of the ice.
And away comes Riley with it now. Under 10 to go in the second period. Riley takes a whack from Jones, speeds in front, Holland a shot, and Rene dropped it down, couldn't hang on to it. Good away by Roy. Now Franson back across, Holland with a drive off the outside of the goal. Clarkson on it now, good pressure by Toronto. Trying to climb back in this game, Riley with it. His long shot, tipped right on. Rene makes a great deflection save. Franson steps up to keep it alive. Forsberg whacks at it and squeezes the puck across the line.
2 of the last 3 shifts have been really good for Toronto. Carlisle rolling 4 a little bit here as his 4th line with Panik and Levo and Smith get on, and it's been a good first 10 minutes of period 2 here for Toronto. Just try and get 1 by the end of the period. Get yourself in shouting distance.
Against the Nashville goaltenders, allowed 11 goals in his last 6 games. Ekholm fires it around. Roy jumping on it. Down to Cullen. Matt Cullen spinning back. Taken down by Polak. Roy reaching forward as well. And the puck was to the side of the goal. Smith comes back. And an interference call coming up. And it's going against Toronto. Nashville to the power play. Up 3-0 here in the second period.
Jake Gardner for interference is the Leaf penalty. The Leaf penalty killers need to come up big here. They've started to put a couple of good shifts together. There is the penalty. Look how open on the prior shift Cody Franson is. All 5 Predators are within 5 feet on one side of the net, and Franson hooks his shot wide of the net. Franson, who's got a 7-game point streak going, can only shake his head as he takes a peek at the video. Wide open in front. He doesn't miss from there very often.
So with Gardner in the box, Nashville back on the power play. And Roman Polak to Robidas, who squeezes that by Jones, and out the chance now for Winnick. Toronto has never scored a shorthanded goal against Nashville. But as you mentioned, these teams don't have a lot of history. In one 8-year period, Toronto only visited Nashville once. Which is...
That's a shame.
A pity. Here's Jones now, long shot right on, and Reimer makes the glove save through traffic.
What's impressed me about Reimer so far since he's come in at the start of the period is there hasn't been one moment where there's been a save and a scramble. He's had really good track of the puck tonight. The puck hits him and stays there. He's caught a couple of shots from the point. Looks a lot more comfortable, certainly, than he did Saturday night. He was on the ice a long while this morning too, Gord, at the morning skate, taking some extra work.
He was exhausted after that morning practice. Josi across to Weber, the drive, and Reimer makes the stop on Shea Weber's rocket.
Well, there's another one for him, and as soon as that draw is tied and it comes to Josi, it's pretty easy to see where the puck's going, and man, I'd hate to be the forward there thinking you got to get into that shooting lane. Josh Leivo can't get there, but that is a rocket from Weber.
No defenseman has more goals in the NHL over the last 5 years than Shea Weber, who led all Blue Liners last year with 23. Not to mention a long list of casualties of players who got in front of it. And Weber being pressured there by Smith, plays it ahead for Wilson. Colin Wilson sets it up, a minute to go in the power play. Josi back across to Wilson, works it down to Ribeiro. To Josi, Weber all teed up. Josi shoots instead. Reimer the save. Rebound loose in front. Weber skated by it. Here's a chance for Toronto. Holland shorthanded along with Smith. Peter Holland sends it back, goes wide of the goal, and Ribeiro knocks it down. And Josi settles things down for Nashville. 7:25 to go in the second period. Josi to Weber. Reimer gets in the way of that, and the puck loose in the corner for Polak. Wilson tries to drop it back. Winnick picked it off, and Josi gloved it down, but right to Komarov, who brings it out. Rene out to play it. Crispy ahead to Josi. 10 seconds to go in the Nashville power play. Wilson back to Josi. Swings it across. In comes Weber. A sharp angle shot. Reimer gets an arm on that. Gardner out of the box for Toronto. Ribeiro works in. Gardner steps in to hit. And the puck loose in the corner for Riley. This power play unit's been on the ice for a while for Nashville as Riley brings it ahead. Hands on the shoot, it picked off by Cullen. Quickly ahead for Roy, but that pass skipped ahead to Robidoux. And Matt Cullen brings it in. A Stanley Cup winner with Laviolette in Carolina in 06. Gets a soft shot away, and Reimer makes the save.
Excellent penalty kill again for the Leafs. Whatever that first period was, it doesn't look much like this team that's come out and played in the second period as Dion Phaneuf and Paul Gaustad head back to their respective benches. And now the Leafs have to keep pushing and see if they can get one before the end of the period. Kessel and Van Riemsdyk on the ice with Kadri. The two of them, Van Riemsdyk and Kessel in particular, have been very, very quiet tonight.
Jokinen for the face-off. Doesn't have a point yet for Nashville this season. Wins the draw back to Ekholm. His long shot drifts high and wide. And now Cullen on it. Being bumped there by Polak, who sends him flying. And then Jokinen returns the favor on Polak, and he's going to get called for it for interference. So Jokinen with a little retaliation on Polak. And Toronto gets a power play with 6:07 to go in the second period.
Pretty similar to the penalty just called on Jake Gardner a few moments ago as Jokinen comes into the scrum late. You see Polak working over Matt Cullen in the corner. Then Jokinen comes and just shoves him off the puck battle. And Gord, you just mentioned he doesn't have a point this year, and that's a penalty you can't take whether you got lots of points or certainly when you have none.
Toronto is 0 for 2 on the power play tonight without a shot on goal on the man advantage. And it's Kadri up ahead to Clarkson. In comes David Clarkson. Back in the point to Riley. Across he goes to Phaneuf. Kadri sends it back to Phaneuf right on the line. He holds it back to Kadri. Drops it down to Holland. A different power play look for Toronto. Now Gaustad picks it up, and away comes Nystrom shorthanded. The pass just missed him. Nystrom back in front, and Phaneuf knocked that down. Or Roman Josi was alone in front of the Toronto goal. In comes Clarkson. Works it and fires, and Rene gets a piece of that. Loose in front of the goal, and Josi fires it down the ice.
Wow, was Toronto lucky. Eric Nystrom was wide open for a 100-foot breakaway, and Gaustad healed the pass that went right through his feet.
And now Kessel works his way in. Chips it across to Francis. Drops for the trailer. Gardner. Long shot. Bounces wide of the goal, and now picked up by Gaustad. Hacked out by Beck. And Gardner up for Kessel with Van Riemsdyk. Here's Tyler Bozak with it, the Toronto leader with 5 power play goals this year, tied to the league lead in that category. Kessel works it back in front, loose puck bounces back to Kessel. Franson with a drive. Rene makes the save on him. Here's Gardner back with it. To Kessel, who fans on the pass. Gardner gathers it up, back to Kessel. 15 seconds to go on the power play. Volchenkov. Nifty backhand play ahead for Cullen. And out comes Nashville, 3-on-2 shorthanded. Back works in. Plays it back in front. Yarncroc with a shot. And Reimer makes the save.
Everybody's talking about how aggressively Peter Laviolette wants his Predators to play. He says it's an open door policy in the offensive zone, but this is shorthanded. Volchenkov, a nice outlet. It's a 3-on-2. Kessel can't get back. Here to Calle Jarnkrok. It's the 3-on-2 in the open lane, the center drive that opens up the chance for Jarnkrok as Laviolette and longtime assistant Kevin McCarthy look on. Reimer with another stop.
Cullen knocked Holland's stick out of his hands. He's shown out of the face-off circle for that. So Roy will step in. Polak rocks it back to Komarov. And Leo Komarov winds his way ahead. 4 to go in the second period. And Jokinen, whose ice time was 12:24 against Winnipeg on Saturday. That's a season low for him. Chipped that ahead. Ekholm leaves it there for Cullen. Swings that rink wide, but Robida knocked that away from Roy. Santorelli chipped it ahead for Toronto. Ekholm knocks that to the line and out. 23-20 the shots on goal in favor of Nashville. The play's offside at the Toronto line. James Reimer holding Toronto with it in relief of Jonathan Bernier. Nashville leads 3-0 late in the second period.
This season, stay out of the penalty box. Find gifts she'll adore, like Arctic Brilliance Canadian Diamonds. Only at People's, Canada's diamond store. Let love shine.
Now what?
Well, you can only juggle the bingo balls around so much. They've had a better second period, but that, again, doesn't explain for yet another slow start for the Maple Leafs.
Now Phaneuf plays it around. Franson jumping on it. Knocked down by Ribeiro to Neal. James Neal fires it around. Forsberg. Back to Seth Jones. That's knocked away by Winnick, and Jones has to retreat. As Volchenkov races to the loose puck. Franson. Up through the middle. Knocked away by Jones. Ribeiro settles things down. Back to Seth Jones. Just missed by Winnick at the Toronto line. And Nashville flips it in deep and goes off for a change. Phaneuf long lead pass for Van Riemsdyk. That's knocked away. And Phaneuf gathers it back up with Smith all over him. Almost a steal by Smith. Now loose in front for Jarnkrok. Drops it back. Josi with a drive. He hammered it wide. And Kadri up for Kessel. Quickly with Van Riemsdyk. And Craig Smith races back to take that away. Ahead for Wilson. In comes Colin Wilson. Shoots short side at the side of the goal. And Kadri ahead to Van Riemsdyk. Up for Kessel. One-on-one with Josi. Kessel drops it back, and that's knocked away from Robida by Wilson. Chance now for Smith. In comes Craig Smith. Walks it and shoots, and Reimer gets a piece of that. Knocked by Josi, and trailing back is Shea Weber. Josi up for Nystrom, bats that down to the Toronto zone. And Komarov drops it off for Holland. Broken up by Beck at the Nashville line. Now a race for it as Holland has to trail back and beat his former junior teammate back to the loose puck. Here comes Holland with a head of steam across the line. Holland works his way in. Backhands that around. Komarov was chopping at it. Beck picks it off. Lead pass to Nystrom. He's got Jokinen with him. Nystrom in, shoots, scores! Eric Nystrom fires it by Reimer with 1:15 to go in the second period, and Nashville takes a 4-0 lead.
Eric Nystrom almost had a breakaway shorthanded a few moments ago. His third goal of the season's a good wrist shot here that starts in the offensive zone. Beck with the pass. Now Riley has stepped up. He makes a pinch on the play. It's a bad read because when he steps up, that opens up the 2-on-1 lane. Polak tries to deny the pass. Nystrom beats James Reimer cold. And it's Taylor Beck having a night. A couple goals and an assist. And it's 4-0 Nashville.
And that's the fourth line for Nashville going to town. And Gardner across to Polak, up for Levo. Beck and Smith draw the assists on Nystrom's third of the year at 18:45.
So all this, the 4-0 lead with nothing more or less from Forsberg, Neal, and Ribeiro, who had scored half of the Predators' goals coming into tonight.
And Toronto's now been outscored 10-2 in its last two games.
So there's Morgan Riley. He gets caught pinching up into the play. And that opens up that cross pass to Nystrom. Reimer won't like the goal because it's the left shot from the outside wing. Beats him up over the glove, and a pretty good period by the Leafs. Now is a 4-0 deficit. It's hard to believe, Gord. Just I said it in the first period that they were 6-1-1 just a short time ago, and one of those wins a week ago was against Boston, where they just blew the Bruins out of the building.
Kessel for Kadri. That's broken up in front by Gaustad. And knocked by Franson at the line. Now busting in his Beck. Taylor Beck spins back. Franson wraps around Van Riemsdyk. And the dying seconds of the second period, Van Riemsdyk works in. A backhand shot goes wide. And time expires here in the second period. 4-0. Nashville leads. Time for our second intermission. Here is James Duthie. Back here in Toronto, Nashville leading 4-0 after two periods of play. The only goal of the second period scored by Eric Nystrom, his third of the year. Ekholm's been given the second assist in that goal. Beck has 2 goals and an assist tonight. Nashville out shooting Toronto by a count of 26-20 in the game. So Ray Ferraro, as the Toronto Maple Leafs sift through the wreckage, what are they seeing?
Well, they're seeing some bad decisions. They're seeing some young defensemen make choices that have put them in a bad spot tonight, and they've watched the team not be prepared. We'll go back to the first period. Here's Jake Gardner on the first goal. The puck's going to get chipped up the board, and it's the decision that Gardner makes here not to stay up on the puck, seal off Beck before he gets going, that gives him room to shoot and beat the goaltender. There's Peter Horacek. You can see him on the bench telling him, stay up, seal the play off at the red line, and then it cannot come back into your zone. So from that, about 39 minutes later, we go to his running mate, Morgan Riley, late in the second period. Riley gets into the play. He doesn't recognize the danger of Jokinen skating past him. He has to understand when Jokinen goes past him, it's now a 2-on-1, and there's Peter Horacek again. There's the job of the defense coach when you have young defensemen. It's to point details out to them when they happen so they don't forget about them before they get back to the locker room. And what's turned into a very long night for the Leafs. They trail by 4 with 20 minutes left.
Got Tampa coming here on Thursday, Detroit on Saturday, then on to Pittsburgh. So a tough stretch of schedule. Nashville, Ray, has missed the playoffs the last 2 years. Part of that injury related, especially last year with Rene out. They were devastated by injuries to their forwards the year before, and of course the departure of Alexander Radulov on the eve of training camp. Now here's Smith. He plays it back. Ekholm with a shot. Hits Reimer up high. And a sprawling chance there for Jarnkrok, stopped by Reimer. Back in front. And Wilson can get a shot away. Reimer's lost his goal stick. Used the blocker to knock down away. Smith with a backhand shot. Goes off a leg. Ellis feeds it back in front. Reimer's got his goal stick back upside down. And a train wreck of an opening minute for Toronto here in the third period. Back at the point is Ryan Ellis. Banks it around for Smith. And Phaneuf steps in front of that. Holland looks at to the line, but not out. Ellis, slap pass, score! Tipped home by Ribeiro. And 53 seconds into the third period, it's 5-0 Nashville.
At no point on that shift did anyone knock over a Nashville Predator. They worked hard, sure, but it's easy because nobody makes it difficult for you. The Predators got to loose pucks. There was a wild scramble around James Reimer. And at no point, there's a player lying on the ice because he fell at Jarnkrok and he ends up with a shot on goal. Reimer sprawling all over the place. The puck eventually comes back to Ryan Ellis. This is a shot pass that's deflected by Mike Ribeiro. Ribeiro keeps up his fine play, his 5th goal of the season. And a minute in, it's now 5-0.
And Ribeiro banks it off the sideboards, picked off by Van Riemsdyk. You know, for the disaster it was last year for Ribeiro, he did score 16 goals for Phoenix. He's always been a productive offensive player. Now Philip Forsberg, a backhand shot goes high and wide. And Shea Weber wide to shoot. They score off the skate of Forsberg. And right away they're waving the goal off as referee Mark Lemelin says it was kicked in. They'll undoubtedly take a look at this, but both referees said right away that puck was kicked in.
No goal, puck was kicked into the net.
Paul Dvorsky just came over to the bench to Kevin McCarthy and said they're going to take a look at this upstairs anyway. So there's the Shea Weber point shot.
I don't know.
They certainly directed it into the net,
which is allowed.
I mean, there's not a kicking motion here, but
you can't propel it into the net. By the way, if you missed it earlier, Darren Dreger reporting that out of the general managers meetings today, among the changes, if the video room in Toronto notices that a goal might have gone in that was undetected, they will halt play as it continues. They'll sound the horn in play to bring the officials over.
And so that would be on a shot that maybe hits that back white bar and jumps out of the net, and you end up playing another 3 minutes before there's a puck stoppage, and then they go back and have to rewind all that time on the clock.
So if this does count, Forsberg would have 8 goals in his last 8 games. He scored in 6 straight. That streak was halted on the weekend against Winnipeg. Do you think that's a goal, right?
I think it should be. I think it, but you know, my point is if you don't throw it in, it should count.
Okay, do we have someone objective down there that
Yes.
could maybe answer that question?
If it has to be a distinct kicking motion, I don't think that's a distinct kicking motion. I think it's pretty clear he directs it into the net.
Yeah, propelling the puck is kind of the standard now, and I'm not sure that happened there. You can turn your skate to knock it in. You can move your skate forward to knock it in. That to me is a goal.
He just deflects it into the net. Here's the call. Oh, here we go. It's kind of like the anthem singer. The mic didn't work.
After video review, it has been determined the puck was directed into the net. Therefore, we have a good hockey goal.
Maybe a little European football for Philip Forsberg. When it goes, it goes. 9th goal of the year. The point shot from Weber deflected halfway to the net by Ribeiro. And Philip Forsberg has his 2nd point tonight. That takes him to plus 21. Plus 20 rather on the season for Forsberg.
That's goals 33 seconds apart here in the first 2 minutes of the third period. It's 6-0 Nashville. The combined score of the last 2 games for Toronto is 12-2 against 2 teams that did not make the playoffs last year. Santorelli battling for it. There was a lot of talk in Toronto about Phil Kessel blowing off a reporter after the loss in Buffalo. Might have some company tonight. Now Winnick brings it back in. And that play is offside. And just to add to that thought, Ray, I was curious what you thought of the whole Kessel debate that raged on in Toronto for the last couple of days, where he did not want to talk after the loss to Buffalo.
I think the player's obligation first and foremost is to his team and his organization. I think Phil Kessel should talk when they ask him to talk after a game. I don't think he needs to be out there every day, but I also think there has to be some respect for the people that are trying to do their job. That being a player to the media, but also the other way, the media to the player as well. And sometimes that just doesn't happen. But I don't think he should have dealt with it as he did. I mean, there's a different way to say, I got nothing to say other than get away from me.
I've always heard you're beating to get away from me.
No, I just say that to you.
Oh.
Especially when I have to pay for dinner again.
Aren't I special?
I'm always paying for your dinner. It's just outrageous.
Yes, amazing, really. In comes Wilson, backhands it back in front. They score. Yarncroke, and it's 7-0.
That's his first of the season. Everybody gets a point tonight for Nashville. My goodness, what an embarrassment for the Maple Leafs here at home. They gave up 7 on the road in Denver. This a turnover at the blue line and a quick up through the middle of the ice. Riley's outside. He's not had a very good night. They go right through the middle of the defense. That's Wilson has got to be Riley's man, and as Robida goes down to deflect the puck away to deny the pass lane, Komarov doesn't get back, and Yarncroke puts it into the open side.
Yarncroke was the player that the Predators got from Detroit in the David Legwand deal. A guy who's been an excellent American League player in the Detroit organization, couldn't find room with the Red Wings. And is the latest goal scorer for Nashville. Wow.
They've said that the Predators have said that Yarncroke has played well, but at some point you got to produce. He's on the line with Wilson and Smith. They're 3 young guys. Yarncroke just in his 2nd year in North America. As you mentioned, Gordon, the Detroit system last year.
Now here they come again. Matt Cullen in, shoots. That's blocked. Rebound for James Neal. That's blocked as well. And back comes Kessel the other way. And Ekholm brings it ahead. In comes Olli Jokinen across the line, rings that around the glass. Cullen waiting for it. Roy plays it back. Jokinen a shot. And in comes Ryan Ellis. Runners that wide of the goal. It bounces down to Jokinen. At the line, held by Jokinen, in deep for Roy. This is normally the point in the game where a team would play its 3rd and 4th line up by this much. The problem for Nashville is the 3rd and 4th line's been doing all the scoring.
I mean, this goes back to the first shift of the game, Gordon. This is a Leaf team that wasn't prepared to play from the very first shift of the game. And the players have to wear that. The coaches have to wear that. This has been a debacle.
Kostas off-speed shot goes wide, rebound loose in front, and it's in! Roman Josi makes it 8-0.
This puck is going to bounce off of Mike Santorelli's stick, go up in the air, and bounce over the head of James Reimer into the net. There's Josi down, pinching on the play, comes around the back of the net and hits Santorelli's stick. That's about 8 feet in the air, and before Reimer can find it, It's behind them, and it's 8-0. And it's like the vendors are selling fire. The people are up and out of their seats. They've had enough.
Josi from Nystrom and Goss is going 5-14. Here they come again as Volchenkov puts it wide of the goal. Panik brings it in, shoots, and it's up over the glass and out.
Be hard-pressed to find much that's gone right for the Leafs tonight. Josi just trying to throw this to the net. You see Reimer can't find it. It's way up in the air, and after a late goal in the second period made it 4-0. 4 goals here in the third period for the Nashville Predators.
First time the Leafs have given up 8 goals in the game. There's
Heads up.
What is that? Towel or something, or not a sweater? I don't think. We saw a scarf thrown on the ice in Buffalo the other day. Last time Leafs gave up 8 goals on home ice, December 23rd, 2008, to Dallas. James Neal scored 3 times in that game when he's playing for Dallas. And here they come again. The lead pass for Beck, who's still looking for a hat trick after scoring 2 in the first period. There's an icing call against Nashville. Closed captioning of tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Intact Insurance, proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Four of the last 7 games, Gord, the Leafs have given up at least 4 goals against. And while they outscored some of those issues, they're going to have to look at this top to bottom here before Thursday.
Stopped by Rene.
It's not like you can airlift in 9 new players.
Wow. Now Reimer's hearing it for the fans who are here. 8-0 is your score. Nashville all over Toronto. We're back with more after this.
This season, stay out of the penalty box. Find gifts she'll adore, like Arctic Brilliance Canadian Diamonds. Only at People's, Canada's diamond store. Let love shine.
Losing 6-2 in Buffalo is one thing. 8-0 at home is the kind of result that can cause changes to be made, is it not, Ray?
It is. I mean, there's a serious issue here that they've got to look at upstairs. I mean, as I said, you can't change out 9 players. That becomes a real difficult thing to do to make any moves. But you would think that they just can't stay pat with what's here. I mean, they're a game over 500, yet it's just not even close to being acceptable. The last 2 nights would almost predicate a move.
Gardner shoots and Rene makes the stop.
Whether it's a trade, whether you seriously look as to whether Randy Carlyle gets a finite number of games to possibly turn something around here. I mean, I can't imagine how you could come up with an answer here. What is the answer? Well, the answer is you're just not good enough.
You're going to find out here the next 3 games after this. Tampa's here on Thursday. Detroit's here Saturday. Then Toronto goes on to Pittsburgh. Riley's long shot gets blocked.
It's a fool's play trying to figure out what's coming out of the Leafs tunnel most nights. Just when you think they've just about had it, they run off 6-1-1. Then you think they're on the way to something, and they played pretty well against Pittsburgh, but these last 2 nights have just been an absolute disaster for them. I mean, this is embarrassing with a capital E.
Smith to Levo, and across the line he comes, and that play is offside.
Oh, I've been in a few of these, and you know, Morgan Riley's not had a very good night. He just jumped offside there. But this game can't end fast enough if you're in a blue jersey.
Polak and Komarov are both -4 this game. They're going to pile up in a hurry. And here's Franson, the former Nashville Predator, with a shot that's knocked away easily by Rinne.
You know, Gord, I got some advice early in my career from a teammate we ran into today, Stu Gavin. And he said, when your team is getting blown out, you can make your standing a little better if you can find a way to keep working, if you don't get discouraged.
Now Cover with a chance in front to score. Santorelli breaks the shutout bid of Pekka Rinne. It's 8-1.
And that's a little bit what I'm talking about, is you don't quit on a play, you maybe make a play that the coach notices, so next game when he's trying to figure out how to make things a little better, you're part of the answer, not part of the problem. And for Santorelli, and probably not surprisingly, Komarov's involved in this. Kadri gets in first to climb onto the loose puck. Komarov gets a shot, Santorelli knocks it out of the air, and the Leafs are on the board for Santorelli's third of the season.
And now Smith back with it. Komarov draws the assist on Santorelli's third of the year. And now an icing call against Nashville as they fire it down to the Toronto end.
There's Santorelli and Komarov who connect to create the goal, but the play starts with a little bit of effort here from Kadri. He gets in to separate the puck. When Ekholm goes to reverse it behind the net, it hits Santorelli's foot. Komarov gets the first shot, and Santorelli's on the loose puck.
Kessel from a sharp angle, fires that wide. Shots are 32-24 Nashville. Here's Kessel back with it. Across the top he goes to Polak, winds and shoots. Rinne kicks it out. Gardner holds the line. And Josi with it. Polak trailing back as Jarnkrok watches him. Nashville goes on to play in Ottawa on Thursday. Brian Murray was very much the focus of attention today at the general manager's meeting, as his revelation this week to TSN that he's battling stage 4 cancer has sent shockwaves through the hockey community.
Staying as busy as he possibly can. Farmed off a little bit of work to his assistants, Randy Lee and Pierre Dorion. But he loves the game, and as he said in that wonderful piece with Michael Farber, you just go day to day and do the best you can.
Volchenkov wires it in. National GM David Boyle, of course, was hit by a Shea Weber shot during a practice last year as Volchenkov shoots. Loose in front to Jokinen, back to Pellerin, he shoots and misses wide, and that caused permanent eye damage to Boyle, who is still recovering from that. Two were together in Washington back in the 80s as Jokinen puts that wide. 9:45 to go in the third period. That can't end fast enough for the Maple Leafs. Komarov loose down there as Rinne took a poke at it. Komarov's not looking to give up anytime soon. And Franson holds the line. Across he goes to Canucks. One shot score! Kadri might have got a piece of that.
Funny that, Gord. Same guys on the ice for both goals. The first one, Kadri gets in on this forecheck to start the play. This time it's Komarov who keeps the puck alive below the goal line. It's deflected in front. It looks like it's Kadri's goal. His foot-off shot is tipped right there past Pekka Rinne. But you look for glimpses of hope. I'd say it's better than even that Kadri, Santorelli, and Komarov start as a line on Thursday.
First and last aim for Kadri as Kessel ran set off a stick, up and out of play. 9:12 to go in the third period. Nashville leading 8-2. We're back after this.
Oh, we've talked more than a few times about the poor start the Leafs had. The 3 chances they gave up on the 3 first shifts leading to the 1-0 goal by Taylor Beck, but really it started before that when Michelle Madera was trying to sing the national anthem and the mic didn't work.
It's actually a nice moment. The crowd took over and finished it for her. I don't believe in omens, but you can convince me tonight.
Yeah, I think we might have an easy sell job tonight.
Nystrom hacks it out. So Kadri does get the Toronto goal. Gardner up for Clarkson. This brings to mind that Daryl Sutter as Gardner fires on goal and Clarkson takes a whack at that. As Clarkson has the flippers off with Gaustad, who's going to fight for the second time in this game. Ooh. Throws Clarkson into the end glass. Remember, Clarkson suffered a broken cheekbone in the preseason in a fight.
This is his first fight since that night.
Gaustad and Clarkson will gather their stuff and we'll tell you that Raptors basketball is back. BMO Raptors basketball on TSN. The Grizzlies and the Raptors tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Tip-offs at 7:30. Memphis is 10-1 to start the year, best in the NBA. Toronto's 8-2, best in the East. That's Vince Carter coming back to Toronto, which used to be more of a big deal than it is now. He's kind of a forgotten guy here, and especially with the Raptors playing well out of the gate. But just to finish the thought, Ray, on what Daryl Sutter said last year, it's not whether you're winning, not whether you win or lose, it's whether you're winning or losing. In other words, don't let bad games become bad weeks or bad months.
In Mike Modano's Hall of Fame speech yesterday, he said Bob Gainey constantly reminded him, be the hunter, not the hunted. It's time for the Leafs to become the hunter again. They have been on their heels all night. They weren't sharp in Buffalo. And they better be sharp on Thursday or it's going to look a lot like this.
So I guess the glass half full brigade would say, well, they were 6-1-1 not that long ago, as you pointed out. In comes Jake Gardner now, works it back, shoots, sends it back in front. He missed Kessel with that. And the puck is back to center ice.
Of course, the problem is you're 6-1-1. You give 3 in a row back, and you're 1 step forward, 1 step back. You get nowhere.
Pollock down to Van Riemsdyk. Sends it back door for Kessel. He was tied up there by Ellis. And it's back to center ice to Gardner. Forsberg. On it for Nashville. Robidas takes that away. And Riley trails back to pick it up. And Riley banks that high off the glass. And there's an icing call against Toronto. Molson Canadiens Leaf Hockey is brought to you by Molson Canadiens, diehard fan and proud partner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Kadri wins that face-off against Rivero. And Komarov out there again with Kadri and Santorelli. The lone bright spots for Toronto. On the ice for 2 goals here tonight. Now Kadri runs into Ekholm. Back in the corner. Ekholm goes back again, is being watched by Komarov. Here's Neal with it. Up for Forsberg. He was tied up by Robidas. Craig Smith with it. He watched by Fedot. And Holland waiting for it for Toronto. Back goes to France and a long shot. Tip right on. Rita makes the save. And Holland back on it. Levo loose behind the goal for Toronto. Steps away from Jones. Sends it back in front to Holland. Rossi goes to France with a quick snapshot off the leg of Jones and wide. Winnick back to Franson. Down to Holland. Back in front, Levo's pass picked off by Smith. And he floats it down to the Toronto zone. 6 to go in the third period. Winnick digging for it. Plays it back to Polak. Shea Weber back on it. A luxury for Laviolette tonight. He can manage minutes of Weber a little more. As Van Riemsdyk gets shot away. Stop made by Rena and the puck leaves the zone. Normally, Weber and Josi play so much for Nashville. We mentioned coming in, they played in 5 straight 1-goal games. This is like Christmas come early for Nashville, a lead like this. They came in 23rd in the league in goals for. And Buffalo was dead last in goals for. Entering Saturday night when they put up 6 against Toronto. Lead pass was off a stick. And play call with 4:50 to go in the third period. Taylor Beck scored twice in the opening period. It's been all Nashville right from the start. Here at tonight's game story, Taylor Beck with a pair of goals and an assist. Maple Leafs have allowed 8 goals at home for the first time in 6 years. Outscored 14-4 in their last 2 games. As a side note, Cody Franson has an assist tonight, so he's extended his point streak to a career past 8 games. It's got to be positive, eh, Ray? You're always positive. That's what I like about you.
That's me.
Yeah. The ray of sunshine, we call you.
Or if you dig hard enough, you can find something good, but...
Nystrom feet and Brett bounces away.
I guess that would be one positive you could find. Another would be the play in the third period of these 3, Kadri, Komarov, and Santorelli.
The late Badger Bob Johnson was a relentlessly positive person when in 85-86 Calgary went to the Stanley Cup final, but that year they lost 10 in a row at home, including an 8-1 home loss to Hartford. And Johnson said afterwards, I know you guys are disappointed, but that 1 goal we scored the power play was dynamite.
Oh, what a line.
How could you not love a guy like that? And now someone's thrown a Leaf sweater on the ice in play. And Rene hangs hangs on to the loose puck.
Yeah, that guy's an idiot, though, because to do it during the play, somebody could easily get hurt. The security's chasing him out. I hope they grab him up in the concourse. Komarov has been really active here in the third period, hasn't he, Gord? I talked a little earlier about when your team game is not going very well, you just never give up, and Komarov has done that in that last scuffle. They just ripped the chain off his neck. He just grabbed it. It was going down his jersey, handed it to the trainer.
What are you supposed to do with that sweater, Ray? They just gave it to you.
I don't know. I'm not really sure. I've got it here if somebody would like it. Come on down. It's yours.
You're not going to pick it up, though, are you?
Pardon me?
Polak shoots. Rene makes the stop. You're not going to touch it, are you?
No.
You're not picking it up.
Then why would I do that? Who knows where that guy's been that threw it on the ice? It's just like when you got a hat trick, they'd give you all the hats, you know, they'd collect them and put them in front of your stall.
Yeah.
Some of them you were like, really? Somebody had that on their head? It's like the filthiest thing you've ever seen.
I used to love the guy on the island that threw a sombrero on the ice. Like, how many games did he sit through with a sombrero waiting for a hat trick to happen?
You wouldn't want to be the guy behind him, would you?
No. Now gets by Gardner down the ice. And an icing call against Nashville. Well, the TSN Shop is a one-stop destination for official team jerseys, apparel, accessories, and a wide range of collector's items and memorabilia. Visit tsnshop.ca to start shopping. I might get your Christmas present this year from there, right?
It'd be a first.
Oh, you've been especially good this year. You deserve a reward.
Although I must say, last year in Sweden, our family wouldn't have eaten dinner if you hadn't made some reservations for us. So I do consider that a gift. As you know, I'm not much of a planner.
Josi back with it. 3 to go in the third, and now a tough post game ahead for Toronto. Off day, game day, and then Tampa on Thursday. And by the way, Steven Stamkos has a history of lighting it up in Toronto.
One of the jobs tomorrow for the coaches, for the Leafs, is to make sure that the mood isn't so heavy that nobody gets any work. And I mean, they're obviously going to be embarrassed and disappointed.
There's Smith shoots, Reimer leads, they score. Colin Wilson, and there's 9 for Nashville.
Okay, Gord, there's another goal where there's a second and a third opportunity around the net, and everybody's standing up for Nashville. They're still on their feet. Knock somebody over. Play with a little bit of anger. Watch, the initial shot is blocked, and now the scramble's going to be on. Fish around, another save. Oh, there you go. You got 2 guys standing beside him. Nobody knocks over Colin Wilson. And Wilson, who was out of the lineup for a couple of games with a lower body injury, got back in against Winnipeg and gets his second of the year.
Last time the Leafs gave up 9 goals in a game, January 14th, 1991. That was at Maple Leaf Gardens against Buffalo. The response to this from players, coaches, and management will be very closely scrutinized in Toronto. And how do you balance rate? Not overreacting, but still reacting.
Well, I don't think you can just say, oh, we'll be better on Thursday, because you would have thought you would be better today after the Buffalo loss. Yet of the 9 goals here, Gord, what I can't believe or can't quite understand is how the Leafs came out so poorly in the first 5 or 7 minutes of the game. You would have thought after the way they were roundly criticized and how poorly they played in Buffalo that at the very least they would have been ready to go, and they just weren't.
Only 2 Nashville forwards don't have a point. James Neal and Olli Jokinen. Jokinen's got to think he might never get a point. In a 9-goal game, you're held off the sheet. You still don't have one this year. Here comes Beck with it now. Under 90 seconds to go in the third. And Gaustad with a sharp angle shot stopped by Reimer. Came on in relief of Jonathan Bernier after the first period. Now France with a long shot that deflects wide. We've heard that 3 times tonight. The cheer that goes up after the announcement of the last minute of play in the period. Now Jarnkrok with it. Jarnkrok being bumped there by Smith. Picked up by Wilson. Spins and shoots, deflected right on. Reimer makes the stop. And Panik lifts it out for Toronto. Sounds for Toronto and its fans. 9-2 the final score as Nashville drubs the Maple Leafs on home ice. And Tampa's coming in on Thursday. For Ray Ferraro, Mark Masters, all of us at TSN, I'm Gordon Middle. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's sports leader. Now stand by for Sports Center. Here's Jennifer Hedger.